Welcome back to Disney Disasters, the show where I put my mind, body, and general sanity on the line in the interest of reviewing every one of the Disney Channel original movies. Today's disaster is the first Disney Channel original movie of the new millennium, with the year 2000 family superhero flick, Up, Up, and Away. Let's start the damage control. Superheroes. They're fucking amazing. At their best, they're characters that embody truly good ideas. They embody truth and justice, power and responsibility, the overcoming of prejudice, and so many other good lessons. However, even at their worst, I still fucking love superheroes. Even movies like Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, and Iron Man 2, movies that I now have serious issues with, on a first viewing I enjoyed them. And even cheesier animated stuff, lower budget TV shows, Season 4 of Arrow and Flash, I still find stuff I can get behind in these products just because they feature superheroes. So that's why when I looked through the DCOM lineup for my next flick, I was delighted to see a film titled Up, Up, and Away, recognizing the obvious superhero catchphrase and imagining what the superhero would be. Stupid costumes, early 2000s effects, on-the-nose writing, damsels in distress, quip-heavy sidekicks, and just a lot of fun. And, in a way, I did get that. And in another way, Up, Up, and Away kicked me in the balls, spat on my dreams, and stole my lunch money for good measure. Unlike this movie, I'm gonna stop wasting your time cock-teasing and jump into the actual review now. In my last review, I talked about High School Musical in 3 different parts, that being the plot, the characters, and the music. But for Up, Up, and Away, I'm just gonna be talking about it in 2 parts, the first half and the second half. And the reason I'm doing this is because, spoilers, this movie shits the bed hard in the second half, but more on that later. Our first half does, admittedly, start strong. Our lead is a 13 going on 14-year-old boy named Scott, who spends his days with his quip-heavy sidekick Randy and his eventual damsel in distress, Amy. He also comes from a family of superheroes, but they're growing concerned because Scott's powers haven't emerged yet, and with his 14th birthday being the eventual deadline, they're worried he might never get his powers. While Scott's family is worried about him never getting powers, Scott himself is more concerned with disappointing his parents. So, in an attempt to appease them, he fakes having superpowers. Meanwhile, a shadowy Greenpeace-esque group has perfected mind control, and they plan to save the world, at the cost of everybody's free will. Now that sounds like a pretty solid plotline. We've got a wide range of abilities amongst the family, a ticking clock with Scott's birthday looming, an endgame group of villains already set up, and a moral lesson presented. And this is all set up within the first 20-30 minutes or so. In fact, at this point I was having a lot of fun. Sure, our protagonist and his friends aren't that interesting, but seeing the family through their eyes really works well. Also, Scott's little sister is dressed like a minion. Moving on. But after this is where the issues begin. First, Scott's lies become the main focus. I do like how he gets multiple opportunities to tell the truth, but instead just piles on more lies like a realistic kid would. However, watching a kid realistically lie isn't really exciting to see in a superhero movie. All of the fun powers and colorful costumes kind of gets put to the side to watch him lie, which changes the tone from a cheesy superhero film to a typical Disney family drama. The next issue that started rearing its head is the villains. While they do have a fun dynamic with the girl who invented the mind control software actually wanting to use it to save the world, and her power-hungry partner just wanting easy money, the issue starts cropping up with the message. I'm not talking about their fake Greenpeace angle, I'm talking about the mind control software. which they use by brainwashing kids through their computers. Yep, that's right, this is one of those evil computers brainwashing the youths movies from the late 90s, and it's just so dated. It doesn't overtake the movie, but any time it comes up, it just feels so awkward and forced. Again, it's just another one of those issues that cropped up that distracted this from what it should be, fun superhero schlock. But now let's get to the meat of the issue. As I've hinted at, this movie really starts shitting the bed when they focus on the main character. Scott is a bland protagonist in the first half, and straight up unlikable in the second. And it all comes from this one scene. At this point in the movie, Scott's at a party celebrating him getting his powers, with his family and everyone there thinking he has powers, when really he's been faking it the whole time. The only person who knows Scott is faking it is Scott's grandfather, who is currently distracted by his minion granddaughter. Meanwhile, villain boy and girl have laid a trap, with villain girl pretending to be trapped in a burning building to lure the supers out. And here's what happens when the superheroes get the news that there's a woman trapped in a burning building.
Oh, there's a woman in the burning building. Honey, I better take this.
Why not let the boy do it? I mean, a woman in a burning building, that's superheroing 101.
You got a point there, Reach.
Up, and away!
That's my boy.
That's right, Scott risks a woman burning to death so he's not caught in his lie. Of course he gets there in time by getting on his fucking bike, tries to get her out, and gets his ass saved by his dad. But this represents the turning point, where Scott's plotline gets all of the focus from the fun superhero movie, and we're left with a bland, uninspiring ending. Oh yeah, the bland, uninspiring ending. Basically, the bad guys kidnap the family, Scott and some asshole friends play Home Alone and save the day. And this ending is all wrapped up with such fun cliches as, the parents don't believe him, there's a big sports game thing at the end, and my personal least favorite, boy and girl who were mean to each other were really just in love the whole time. Yay! Honestly, the second half of this movie is just mediocre at the worst. There are some fun moments like his grandfather being geriatric Superman, but the big problem for me is the huge tonal shift. The first 10 to 20 minutes of this movie were exactly what it needed to be, and towards the end it was almost unrecognizable from what it once was. The fun, creativity, and energy from the first quarter just disappears. I said at the beginning of this video that I love all things superhero, even at their worst. And that is still true. But the latter half of this movie is not a superhero movie. It is just a disappointing, bland, middle-of-the-road film. It lets down a lot of fun moments and good ideas with a botched ending that made me feel cheated and angry from what was meant to be a good time. In terms of where I'd rank this out of the Disney disasters lineup, I'd say it definitely ranks under High School Musical. And this is coming from a huge fan of superheroes. I guess all I can say is I hope this movie goes up, and way the fuck away from me. Fuck you, that joke was amazing.